Tell me about how you first got involved with professional wrestling and everything that kind of.
It was kind of like a weird story because I didn't know Rick Bassman at that point because he was running UPW. But what was really interesting, I knew a lot of people, or I was connected to a lot of people that knew that I was doing jujitsu and karate and all that stuff, and then knew I was doing live shows. And they said you should audition for WWE, or was it WWF at the time? I think it was WWF at that time because they changed it. So it was WWF at that time, and a friend of a friend of a friend said go audition. That's when I met Rick Bassman there, and they started giving me some basic training. I did have jujitsu training, all that stuff. Uh, the audition was extremely simple. I'm sure it's so difficult now, but I went in, we went into this wrestling room, did some basic moves or whatever. And I don't know who was there from WWF at the time, but they were watching you and doing all this stuff. And then at that time, Rick Bassman started to kind of be my agent from UPW because I was practicing with them. And at that point, uh, they sent me some emails and all that, told me to do a biography about my history, and then I got a development contract. I know it's not like that now, but it was very, very basic.
Well, you had experience in martial arts. Do you feel like there were some similarities that you noticed that you're able to pick up the work a little faster?
Oh, absolutely, because of judo and jujitsu and all the martial arts stuff, with throwing and hitting the ground and knowing how to land and all that stuff. Yeah, and then UPW helped with so I started working with UPW, and then they helped me with, the lockups and things like that. So I'm a fast learner. I'm a very fast learner. Not that I'm a great learner, but I'm a fast learner.
When I've talked to people on the show, we've talked about the training process, about how things are difficult and hard when you're learning and you're trying to get the techniques down. What was your experience like working with Rick Bassman and UPW? Did it come, quicker as far as, you start, you lock up, you do these drills? Talk to me about your experiences.
Well, Rick was great, of course. I would meet at down south in Long Beach. We go to a gym and we would practice lockups, basic moves. I would learn not that I remember them all now, but there was a lot of certain moves that you had to learn, and taking bumps and working with other wrestlers that were starting out at that time. And that's how I started practicing with UPW. I wasn't in WWE really yet. They wanted me, but they wanted to see how I worked at that point. So I went down south 3 days a week, practiced, and trained with a lot of other newbies, as what they say. So,
It can be very intense.
oh
Um,
yeah, oh yeah.
any